Hey guys, welcome back. We had a 2 week hiatus. A couple of things came up, and then there was a holiday, and they didn't have any fights on the UFC cards. So we had 2 weeks off. I don't know if it was good or not, but welcome back,
Yeah,
Nando. And we got a pretty decent fight card this weekend. And that would be Kai Kara France versus Albazi. But before we get into that, we wanted to just make a few comments on the new Ultimate Fighter that just came out, season I think 31 or something like that, and
I think
episode
so.
one, right? So you
Mhm.
got the notorious one, Conor McGregor, versus Michael Chandler as coaches. What were your thoughts on that first episode?
It was pretty good. I mean, I was glad to see that that Chandler had Bader and he had a lot of those people from Florida in his team. It was kind of confusing at first when they were like explaining the rules. I think there's too many rules. It was veterans, you pick this and you then they pick this and then you have to pick this and then this fighter. They already picked all the fights already.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that was
I like
interesting.
when they pick it like I like when they pick it each week. So it makes it more interesting, but
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I mean, veterans versus prospects. I like that.
yeah, that's pretty cool
What
too.
did you think of it?
Well, I was surprised at some of the people that were coming back, like Jason Knight. He's got a lot of miles on him. Um, and what was the other dude's name? He won the Ultimate Fighter back in the day. Ah, gosh, he just left me. Anyway, he got cut from the UFC. He lost two or three in a row, and um, I think that those were interesting picks for the veterans. But I like the way that they did it, in so much that it was more entertaining than past tough things, episodes. And with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, you're going to have a lot of interesting aspects. But one thing that's interesting to me that I thought that here's my takeaway is Conor McGregor brought his team,
Mhm.
that he's been training with and that he knows intimately. So all of his coaching staff are on the tough team. Whereas with Chandler, he's got a hodgepodge of guys that come, and I'm sure he said he's fought with them before, and some of them are on his team. But I think that's going to be the difference in this season because you got coaches who know that's what they do as coach. They're not simply just fighters; they're coaches. And but when they have a cohesive team like that, I think they're going to coach their guys better than Chandler's coaches, because they may step on each other's toes or tell them different things, that kind of confuse the fighters a little bit because the coaches aren't in sync. But I think that's probably going to be a key for how this season goes.
Yeah, and Chandler said he's never coached anybody before.
Yeah.
When I was watching another interview, he says, I've never coached. I get coached. I mean, I don't even really work with the other people. and and Connor's been like mentoring people because he's been out for like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know,
But
he's
I
been
think if you train as much as these guys train, at several hours a week, coaching is not going to be that hard. I mean, the drills you do and the drills that you feel are effective for you, you're just going to pass them on to somebody else. And this is how we do it. I don't think it's that, but I think again, it's the coaches communicating amongst the coaches and how they, transition the boxing coach to the Muay Thai coach or the wrestling coach or the grappling coach or whatever, how they transition all those things, I think is the key part to these guys becoming really well-rounded fighters. But they all seem game and the coaches seem game. They don't feel like, it feels like they're both invested. Chandler and McGregor are invested. And you always know when you see McGregor watching fights, he's like gets into it. He wants to jump in the cage. So
yes.
he's not just sitting back there letting other people coach, and he's in the mix. And and he was even sparring with him on one section of that episode, right? So that's pretty
Right.
cool. All right, let's jump into this card. We're going to start with the main card first, guys. And this is a pretty good card. I have to admit, it's a pretty good card. And we got the first bout for the It's a flyweight bout. Number 3, Kai Kara France versus number 7, Amir Albazi. What do you got on these guys?
Okay. Kai Car France is 30, 24-10, 305 city kickboxing. He lost to Brandon Moreno twice. The last one was for the interim title with the liver kick. He has great defense. He has better stand-up than Albazi. Albazi is 29, 16-1, 5-fight win streak. London Shoot Fighters, purple belt, 9 subs so far, and great grappling. What it's going to come down to in this fight is that, like Albazi, if he gets it to the ground, it might be a wrap. But Kai Car France is really good defense. I was watching right before this, his like scrambles. So it's going to be Kai Car France's stand up, and he's been working with, he's been working with City Kickbox. He's been working with Volkanovski and the middleweight champ, and he's doing very well. So he's probably one fight away from the title, but Albazi's, on a streak. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It's gonna come down to the clinch and the grappling of Albazi. If Kai Car France can nullify it, he might win. It might go to a decision, but Kai Car France does knock people out. What do you think before I give my?
Well, I'll tell you, the odds are equal, -110 for each fighter. So
Okay.
your analysis is spot on as far as the betting goes of who could possibly win this fight. And I do agree, if it's a ground game, Albazi's probably going to win. And if it's a stand-up, but I'm not even sure, even if it's a stand-up, I think Kai Kara France may have met his match on this guy, because if Albazi can touch him on the feet and make him feel his power, then he's going to be opened up, because he does have great ground defense or takedown defense. France does. But if Albazi can hurt him on the feet, then he's going to open up just a little bit more and be more upright this way to block those shots if he gets a hook or a stiff jab that hurts him. And then that's going to open up the door for Albazi to take him down. And he won't be able to, if he gets those hands locked on a double leg, he's not stopping that takedown, So then it'll depend on Kai Kara France's scrambling techniques of being able to get out of there quickly, not staying down on the ground. But I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I like Kai, but I'm going to have to go with Albazi on this one.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Well, then I'm going, you know how we do it. I'm going with Kai Car France then.
Okay.
You make it interesting. But I mean, it's very even, and Kai Car France wants to get it. Everybody, he's a meme right now of that liver kick, and he was doing very well in that fight. I thought he was doing very well. I thought it was going to come down to a decision, and then that kick just ended everything. And Brandon Moreno is not really known for liver kicks or anything like that.
Yeah, but I'm going with Kai Car France. Used to, he's a tough kid. He doesn't get hurt. I mean, if he gets hurt, he's a very smart fighter, so he doesn't quit. He's not a quitter, that's for sure. Neither is Kai. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that liver kick will put anybody down.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We have Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres versus Daniel Pineda. And this is an interesting fight. We've got a -180 for Bruce Leroy and a +155 for Pineda. What do you got on these guys?
Alex Caceres is 34, 20-13, 4-5, MMA Live lab, freedom fighters. One over Julian Rosa. I like his style, 360 kicks. He's very creative. Fast pace, leads with his kicks. He has a kung fu style. Daniel Pineda is 37, 24, and 14, 2-1-3. 40-ounce Fight Club win over Tucker Lutz. He had a no contest over Andre Philly, and then he had 2 no contests for banned substance in the PFL. He has good clinch wrestling. The only problem is Caceres kind of picks his punches. He keeps it very creative. The problem, Caceres is really good. He hits very hard, but he gets hit a lot. I was watching these videos, and they were talking about the rise and whatever, and I was like, is this a good video or a bad video? Because they're showing him getting hit all the time. He leaves his head open, and I just don't like that at all. But he hits hard. He has great wrist wrestling, but I think he gets hit a little too much. I think it's going to go to a decision. I think Caceres will probably win because he's going to mix it up. He's going to keep the punches high, punches low, kicks high, kicks low. He's got spinning elbows. I think this is a good fight to showcase his abilities. What do you think?
That's pretty good analysis. I agree with that. I think this is the stylistic fight of style over power, and I think style is going to win this one. I agree with you that I believe Caceres will win this fight simply for the fact of his last few fights. He seems to have improved. For being in the game as long as he has, because we've seen these fighters before, Nando. They don't get any better, man.
Yeah.
They're so used to the way that they fight, and if there's new techniques and stuff, they just don't. They don't. I don't know if they don't think they need it, or they just can't. They don't have the capability from doing repetition. Hundreds of thousands of repetitions of combinations that to change something up, they can't do it. You know what I mean? But Caceres is one of these dudes, man, because he was like this, and then all of a sudden he started getting better, and he really started getting better because they were putting him up against dudes that he should have lost to, and he beat them, and so that's why I think he's going to win. I think because he has a lot more tools in his arsenal. He knows how to use them, but his fight IQ keeps improving, getting higher and higher and higher. And Pineda, if he wins, it's going to be by a knockout. He's gonna catch Caceres and knock him out because he does have some powerful punches. But I don't think that's going to happen. Caceres is like a fart on a skillet, man. He's bouncing around all over the place.
Okay, so you have Caceres?
I hope Alex didn't hear that. All right, next up we have a lightweight belt, and we've got Jim Miller versus a guy who stepped up on 2 days' notice, Jesse Butler. And I found out the reason why Jared was canceled off the fight. Okay, but I'll tell you that in a minute. I'll let you give the stats. So we got a plus 160 for Jim Miller and a minus 190 for Jesse Butler on the odds. What do you got?
Jim Miller's 39, 35, and 17, 3-5. Miller MMA, a loss to Alex Hernandez, wins over Donald Cerrone. He had Lyme disease. He was out for 3 years, maybe 2 years, and then he came back. He had a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has his own team, Miller MMA. Wait, no, not Jared. The one under. Okay. Jesse Butler's 31, 12-4, 5-fight win streak. Kron Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I hope he doesn't do what Kron did, but if he's a Fury FC champion, heavy hands, really good. I watched a couple videos on him. The the media work on some of these other ones is really hard to see and hard to see. But he was really good. He has great grappling, but what he's going to showcase is his hands. He is heavy. He knocks people out with kicks, punches to the head. It's going to be very interesting because Jim Miller, I think, was prepared for a grappling match. He was going to show Jared Gordon, how to really grapple. So this guy isn't a grappler. This is going to be a stand-up guy that's going to try to take his head off. And you saw what happened with him and Alex Hernandez. How Alex Hernandez knocked him out. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go with the debut.
Okay.
So
with Jim Miller, I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm going to stick with Jim Miller because he's got some goals to achieve before he retires, and I like his fighting style and just the way he's come back and had a winning streak. It's been nothing short of phenomenal for as long as he's been in the game. But that's the thing I think he brings with him is experience of he's been hit before hard. He's not the best striker in the world for sure. But he knows how to get somebody to the ground as well.
yeah.
And if this guy, Jesse Butler, doesn't have any grappling skills, he should if he's coming from the Gracie Academy. But if he doesn't have those skills to get out of there, Jim will ground and pound him. And so I think, Jesse Butler has a chance to knock him out for sure, based on your description of him. I haven't seen any tape on him, so I don't know. But I'm going to trust Jim Miller's fight IQ, his experience, his ability to take punishment and keep going. He can take punishment and keep going. And I think he's going to wear out Jesse Butler with heart. Okay. And so I'm going to pick Jim Miller on that one. All right.
So
next up we have.
So why was Jared Gordon not?
Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you that. So in his interview, he had mentioned that he got a mild concussion, and that was it on his last fight. He mentioned he got a mild concussion, and the commission said, "Nah, we're not chancing this one. That's too soon because the fight wasn't that long ago." And
what was the last fight? Oh, the Bobby Green fight.
He said he got cleared by the doctors, but as soon as they heard that, he made the mistake of saying, "I had a mild concussion," because then the commission stepped in and said, "Nope," and that's what caused it right there.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I did hear he said he had a mild concussion, but I didn't know that's why they scrapped the fight.
But that dude has bad luck, man. He just has bad luck. I feel bad for him, but that's what I'm telling you, man. These guys that complain and make all these things saying I should have won all three of those fights that he lost. They need to pick a different strategy because that doesn't work, man. These guys that complain all the time, the fans don't like it. They don't like it. I don't know if he wants people to feel sorry for him or whatever, but it's like, get out there and win, dude. You lost 3. Get out there and win. Don't talk about it. Do it.
Yeah.
But here we go. We got the flyweight bout. Tim Elliott. This dude can wrestle. He can grapple too. Against Victor Altamirano. And what do you got on these two?
Tim Elliott's 36, 18-2, 3 of the last fight. Extreme Butcher. He's a Ultimate Fighter tournament champion. If you remember, they did the tournament of champions. The winner fought Demetrius. He won the whole thing, and then he lost to Demetrius. But he has a great submission game, head movement, likes his jab. I like his jab a lot. Victor is 32, 12 of 2, 4 of 5, double 5 mid-city, 2 wins, inside kicks. It's like a Gaethje style where he does the kicks on the inside. He tries to slow his fighters down. And he likes to put everything on the guillotine. He'll grab a guillotine and just like dead weight, pull the guy to the ground, try to do standing guillotines. But Tim Elliott, like you were saying about Jim Miller, he's a veteran. He's seen everything. He's fought, he didn't. I don't think he. I think he lost a decision to Mighty Mouse, but I'd have to look back at that. But I think Tim Elliott's way better. It's just it's gonna be if he can get his game plan going. You know what I mean? He needs to get his game plan. He needs to lead with his punches, up and down movement, takedowns, and not let Victor kind of showcase his style and dictate the pace. So I'm not sure right now. I want to hear what you say before I pick.
Okay. I think Tim Elliott flips a switch when he gets hit, in the head or in the face. I think he flips the switch and he says, "Okay, I got to up the takedown strategy like quick." And the thing is he can transition very, very fast. You hit him, next thing you know, he's already down on you, grabbing your legs. Because I don't think he likes to get hit. I don't know anybody that likes to get hit, but
No.
but he's the guy. He'll flip that switch where even if you're in the filling out process in the first round and you tag him good, he'll change. Boom, just like that. He's not going to step back and then okay, let me reset and let's come in again and see what your striking's really about. He ain't about that. He'll drop, get you down, and if he gets you down, dude, he's worse than a backpack because he transitions all these different angles, and he can grab a leg, he can grab something that is if you leave it hanging out there. And the guillotine, if he gets you in that, he ain't letting that go. Especially those front ones, man. He's not letting that go. He's going to hold on to it. And you can fight the hands, but he seems to have this locking mechanism that when he gets it in there, you can't peel the hand off. It doesn't work. So I'm going to go with a Tim Elliott by submission.
No, man, I think you leaned me over. Yeah, I think I'm going Tim Elliott. Yeah, and like what you were saying, he doesn't do that when he doesn't do a choke. He doesn't do this. He does the gable grip, so his hands are really tight, and it's harder to get somebody's hands apart when their fingers like that and they're tight.
Yeah.
In the choke. So yeah, you swayed me to the other side.
All right.
Tim Elliott.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, I forgot to tell you the odds: -180 for Elliott, +155 for Victor. So I think we're on the right track there.
Seems about right.
Next up, we have Corrine Silva versus Caitlin Sousa at a women's flyweight belt. And both of these are Brazilian ladies. No odds on them. What do you got?
Okay, Silva's 29, 15-4, 6-fight win streak. Gael Ribera, she's a contender, good wrestling, grappling. Caitlin Souza is 28, 13-3, 5 win. I don't know how to say that. Karaoke Academy, she's the flyweight champion of Victa. Victa's a great promotion for women. Just nice footwork, great scrambles. I'm gonna go with the debut of Souza because I think what I was watching, she's really good. And a lot of the champions from Invicta end up doing really well in the UFC. It's like similar to the light what is it, lightweights from Bellator and some of these other promotions do well in the UFC at that weight class. So I'm gonna go with Souza, but I mean Silva. What I did watch is her debut, not her debut, her contender, and she's not. She grinds it out, and I think Souza's gonna try to win. But I mean, I don't have a lot on both of them.
Okay. I'm going to match you. And
What do you
I'm
think?
going to go with Sosa as well. I just like she looks like she's built for getting that ground game going on, and it's going to be difficult to get her off. So I'm going to pick Sosa to win this one. I think it'll go to a decision, but I'm picking Sosa on that one. Ground control. Next up, we have a welterweight bout. We've got Abubakar Nurmagomedov versus Ilessu dos Santos at a welterweight. And we've got a minus. This is a close matchup as far as the odds go. We got a -115 for Nurmagomedov and a -105 for Dos Santos. So that's a coin flip right there. What do you got?
Nurmagomedov is 33, 17 and 3, 3-1-1 of the last 5. Fight Spirit team, he has 2 wins, 1 over Jared Gordon. What was the other guy? Santos is 23 and 7, 3 of 5. CM Systems went over Benoit DeSenis. That's what I have on both of them. I think Akbar probably has a better chance, with the win over Jared Gordon. I think that's one of the ones that Jared Gordon was crying about. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nurmagomedov.
Okay, I'm going to go with Dos Santos. I think this one is going to be a matter of cardio and gas tank resources. I've seen Nurmagomedov, I don't want to say gas out, but I've seen him slow down. And I've seen Dos Santos accelerate. So I view that as the tipping point for this fight. I think Dos Santos is going to have more energy in the end. And since the odds are fairly equal, I'm gonna err on the side of caution and go with Dos Santos.
Okay.
All right, next up on the prelims. This is a good prelim here. We've got a lightweight bout with Jamie Malarkey versus Muhammad Naimov. And Muhammad is coming in with some huge odds, really huge odds. -325 for Naimov versus a +270 for Malarkey. That's interesting. And that's Naimov's debut. What do you got?
And I don't. What I had was Karam Khazadale. So I just have stuff on Jamie Malarkey. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, Jamie Malarkey's 28, 16 and 5, 4 of the last 5 Magnus MMA. 2 wins over Michael Johnson. He's long, lanky, overhands, right, stalks forward. I don't have much on the other guy because, like I said, I had something else. Maybe they changed it and I didn't look at it when they changed it this week. So I did my notes on Monday. So I'll just go with Jamie Malarkey.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Naimov because do you put a debut against a guy who just won his last fight? That's the big tell for me right there. That this dude must be a bad dude.
Yeah, Jamie Malarkey won the last 2, and he beat Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson's not a slouch. He's super game.
Yeah, he is game.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. So I think they're putting this guy, against a winner and making his debut. So he's got to be pretty tough. So I'm going to go with Naimov. Next up, we got a bantamweight bout: John Castaneda versus Muin Gafurov. And we've got John Castaneda with a -125 to a Gafurov +105. So that's not too big of odds. What do you got on these two? Anything?
John Castaneda is 31, 19 and 6, 3-5. The Academy, I guess, is his team, lost to Daniel Santos. Gafurov is 27. He's 18 and 4, 3-5. Taj fighter. 2 wins, 1 over Diego Silva. That's what I have. I like Castaneda, so I'm going to go with Castaneda.
Okay, I'm also going to go with Castaneda because, again, here's the other tell. This guy from Dagestan is debuting against somebody who lost their last fight. So this is a guy that they're just flying in from this country that have some fighters, and they're trying to get into that country, get the UFC going. So I think they brought this dude in, but I'm going to go with Castaneda on this one. Next up, we have a heavyweight bout. Now, Andrei Arlovski, I met him in person.
Really?
Yeah, he's a big dude, man.
How tall is he?
He's tall. I don't know. I say 6'3". He's taller than me. He's a big dude, though. Very nice guy. Anyway, he's fighting a heavyweight bout with Dontel Mays. And Dontel has got the odds favorite, minus 135 to plus 115 for Andre Arlovski. What do you got on these two?
Andre Arlovski, I love Andre Arlovski. He's 44, 34, and 21. Not a great record, but 4-5. He's the American top team he's been with. Last loss to Marcos Rodrigo, but he had 4-fight win streak before that. Dontel Mays is 31, 9 of 5, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 no contest. Bronx Hill MMA, 2 losses in a row. Andre Arlovski's like kind of like he teeter-totters in that top 10. Sometimes he's in there, and it's pretty wide open on the heavyweight division. But Andre Arlovski has great punches, but like you were saying, he's not adding a lot to his arsenal. I think he's a lot older, and he's just it's like I got to work with what I got. I'm not gonna add a lot to this. A little bit of technique, but it's just gonna come down to what fights I can win. So I think he'll win, but I don't think he'll ever be in that top 5 anymore. He was the champion though once.
Yeah, he was. And
He
he's
knocked out Tim Silva, knocked out Paul Benatello.
well, the thing with Andre Arlovski, though, that you can count on in the first couple of minutes of the fight, okay, of any fight, of any one of his fights, he's either on or off. That's it. If he's off, he's losing that fight, and he'll lose it from the bell to the end. If he's on, then you got a really exciting fight, because then it's back and forth. But I think that is all to his will. He doesn't give up, but I think his will, that's what drives him. And I don't want to say heart, because he's got heart to be in the fight game this long, right? He's got a lot of heart to do that. But I'm just saying his will, if he comes in there with an attitude, okay, I'm gonna, this is my fight, or I'm collecting a paycheck. I don't know what his thoughts are. I don't want to pretend to get in his head, but you can tell that, mark my words, when you watch this fight, first 2 minutes, you'll know if he's going to win or lose. No matter how long it goes, even if it goes the distance, you'll know. So I'm going to pick Dontel Mays on this one.
Oh, okay.
Next up, and we're going to have to zoom through this. We only got 5 minutes left, Nando. So we'll just kind of mention these guys. We've got a bantamweight bout with Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz. And Santos is at a minus 215 to a plus 185 for Johnny Munoz. What do you got?
Okay, I got Santos is 28, 11-2, 3-5. Shoot boxing, Diego Lima team. Johnny Munoz is 30, 12-2, 3-5, and his last fight was a win.
And who you got?
I'll go with Johnny Munoz.
Okay, I'm going to go with Santos.
Okay.
All right, next up, we have somebody that we interviewed on Knuckle Sandwich, Jin Yoon Fry versus Elise Reed for the women's strawweight bout. And we've got a minus 130 for Reed to a plus 110 for Fry. What do you got on these two?
Reed is 36 of 3, 2 of 5, kickside MMA. She lost to Lukumi. She won 1, lost 1. Jin Yu Fry is 38, 11-8, 2 of 5. She's from Fortis MMA and Las Vegas. I'll go with Yoon Fry.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Fry because I want her to win. She needs to have a get back in the win column. Next up, we have bantamweight bout Damon Blackshear versus Luan Lacerda, and we got a plus 130 for Blackshear and a minus 150 for Lacerda. What do you got on these two?
Blackshear's 28, 12 of 5, 3-1-1. Jackson Winklejohn. His last was a loss. Then Lacerda is 30, 12 of 2, 4 of 5. Nova Unao and lost to Cody Stamann. So they're both coming off of losses. I like Blackshear more than I like Lacerda.
Lacerda.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'll go with Blackshear as well.
Okay.
And last up on the card, we have a light heavyweight bout. Felipe Lins versus Max Grishin. And we've got a minus 135 in favor of Grishin and a plus 115 for Felipe Lins. Who do you got? Oh, what do you got on these guys?
Lins is 37, 16-5, 3-5. A win over OSP, Marcin Parcinio. Grishin 39, 32-9, 2-2-1. Asmat fight team, and a win over William Knight. So I'm gonna go with Felipe.
Yep, I'm gonna go with Felipe on as well. I think he's a pretty strong dude. I think that's a fight he should win. Hard to count out the Russians though. All right, guys. We want to thank you for tuning in to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. We got a great card coming up, and the fights are back on. Holidays are over for now, and we got a lot of action coming up. And I have some bad news, you guys. I was telling Nando this yesterday. I will not be attending fight card in Vegas for fight week. They outpriced me, man. You know, I'm talking nosebleed seats. You know, I think we were outside the building on top of the roof, and they were still like $400 or $500.
You're like working on the catwalk and stuff.
yeah, they put us on the catwalk, and I couldn't afford those seats. So, but guess what, Nando? The fights are coming to Salt Lake City, and that card is going to be a good card too. And we're going to talk about that one. But we're going to try and get tickets. In fact, the tickets go on sale for that card in Salt Lake City at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you guys are looking and want to get into the fight scene, the tickets go on sale, and we're going to try and snatch a couple of tickets up and go see it in Salt Lake City. So there you go, guys. All right, Nando, give us a parting word. We got 1 minute left.
We got a great fight card in Rogers, and I would like to say Sage Northcutt won his last fight, and Sam Alvey won his last fight. Yeah. So they're coming back.
Excellent.
Good for them. Guys. Sage Northcutt won with the heel hook. All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, you guys see you later. Don't forget, subscribe, and share. All right, see you on the flip side. Bye-bye.